NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Into the masses and ready to rock. Currently being drowned out by the background music. I think that's much better now. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and it is my pleasure to be with you. Good morning, everybody. Hey, come on in. Come on in. We got plenty of room for you. Nathan Ivy Show in full effect. One man, one microphone. You know the rest. One mission. And this morning we have a lot of things to discuss. Good morning. How are you? Let's do it. Morning. How was your weekend? How was your Friday? How was your Saturday? How was your Sunday? Hopefully it was good. The weekend was fantastic, man. It's fantastic. Got a chance to get some family time in, and it was great, actually. Yesterday was especially a good day. And it's my pleasure to be with you. Numerous things to discuss this morning, including I'm looking at this Cincinnati article with my good buddy, Steve Meagerly. And apparently some people have been calling him out about some of his campaign ads. Now, I have not heard the ads, but on Friday, somebody texted into the chop shop like, Nate, matter of fact, it wasn't even there. Somebody hit me up on Facebook on a direct message like, yo, Nate, have you seen this? Have you heard these ads? It was a white dude. A white dude hit me up like, this is like, is this for real? Is it Halloween? Are we being punked? Apparently, Steve Meagerly is like talking about Dr. King and things like that because he just loves black people. He loves black people so much. He loves them. And it's very obvious. All you got to do is look at his campaign photographs. So you got to do. You can see all the love. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you want to transform your brain waves into talk radio waves this morning, I will be the conduit. And we can chop it up on anything that you hear discussed this morning. If there are things that you don't hear me talk about and you're like, wow, man, I wonder if Nate's aware of this, you can send a link into the chop shop, or you can drop Squad 52 a link into the chop shop, and then I'll get it. Or you can go to a Facebook page. It's a closed Facebook page at this point. It's called The Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivy Show. And you can chop it there. You can drop it in there. And I will see it. If it's compelling, we may discuss it. Well, along the way, I do want to chop it up a little bit about local politics and get into that Cincinnati.com article about Steve Meagerly, who we talked to last month. It was a week ago today. We talked to him, I believe. And it was a very interesting, eye-opening, and ear-opening conversation. If you missed it, you can circle back and check that out. It is well worth your time if you're thinking about running. If you're thinking about voting in the Cincinnati School Board. And those elections are coming up in November. So just, 10 days? 14 days? Something like that? 15 days? Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. And I hope you had a great weekend. That's the best way to start the Monday, right? If you had a great weekend, I hope you did. No bingo talk. This is a no whining zone. What are they, 0-15 yet? I'll say it again. It's political to me. I hope the Bengals go 0-16. I do. I really do. Don't go 2-14. If you're going to fail big. I'm sure you agree. 513-873-7134. I didn't see it. You know, it's starting to trickle away. Like I did at the beginning of the season, I had some Bengal fans. You know, so I really wasn't on Facebook a lot on Sunday until like in the evening. I had posted something about my good buddy Steve Meagerly. And somebody said, or I don't know how I got this. Maybe it was some text on Facebook. Somebody said, yeah, Steve said that Nathan doesn't like him. These weak ass men in this city, man. I don't even know you, B. I don't want to know you. It makes no difference to me whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I'll say it again. I don't care. But where there's smoke, typically there's fire. And it's not too, it don't take a brainiac to see through Steve's little facade. He said, you don't like him. I don't even chuckle anymore. I'm just like turned off like a mofo when I hear that. Yeah, that's my motivation for the interview. I don't like you because I don't know you. I don't even know who you are. Who are you? We'll discuss. Did you hear the story about the black security guard? Somebody used a racial slur. He had to deal with that nonsense. Then he ends up getting fired. We will discuss this morning. Also, what's going on with Atatiana Jefferson? She was supposed to be laid to rest, but the funeral was postponed? The hell? What the hell? What's going on with that? And did you see the video? I already got my hero of the week. Did you see the video of the high school gym coach that disarmed the student? Brother, by the way. Yeah. This man might have saved dozens of lives. He saved many lives that day. I guess he talked the kid down. Kid brought a weapon to school, was about to do damage. It was at Park Rose High School in Portland, Oregon. And if you haven't seen the video, it shows not only quick thinking, but also the courage of this coach to step in there. His name is Keenan Lowe. He disarmed the young man and then embraced him. And I thought, wow, that was deep right there. What is going on with the pain that these young people are taking into school? And then that pain translates into mass shootings. He went from about to kill a lot of people with a gun to hugging it out with this coach. It was all caught on video. It was probably one of the most compelling videos I've seen in a while, just because we know what can happen here. Keenan Lowe is the track and field coach and also the security guard. And he said that he saw a concerning expression on the young man's face. He said he seen something in his eyes. He looked at the gun, realized it was a real gun. And then he says his instincts just took over. You know, we can all beat our chests and talk about what we would think we would do in an emergency situation, but that is so deep right there. So that's my hero of the week so far. Keenan Lowe, security guard and track and field coach at Park Rose High School in Portland. He saved a lot of people. If he just saved one person's life. And I hope they got some heroes like that in my daughter's school. I do. Because I'm not so caught up with myself or the world I live in to believe that it couldn't happen. It can happen anywhere. Got these young people dealing with issues, the availability of firearms, high capacity firearms. It's a deadly combination out there, man. So shout out to Keenan Lowe. Because, you know, you had the school resource officer down in, what was that, Parkland. Remember, this guy ran out. He ain't even going inside the building. He was a police officer. Here Keenan Lowe is. He's a track coach. Track coach, part-time security officer, which is a damn shame. What was he first? Probably the track coach. Other students can also be soon. You can see other students running away as Lowe, a former wide receiver for the University of Oregon Ducks, takes the gun from the young man and then passes the gun to another teacher and then goes in for a tight embrace. that turned into a hug. So it went from what could have been a mass shooting to a hug. Would you like to know what happened to the young man who was 19 years old? Well, a judge sentenced him to 36 months of probation and an immediate check into a mental health and substance abuse treatment center, because you got people dealing with trauma from their childhood, things that happened to them. They mix that stuff with drugs. Crazy combinations, man. Crazy combination. So shout out again. That's my hero of the week. That's my hero of the week. That's a strong runner right there. Do you have a hero of the week? I'd love to get your thoughts. Yeah, that was the most compelling thing I saw over the weekend, and it was very emotional because they're embracing one another till the cops come. Save people's lives. Shout out to him. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning. If so, what's on your mind? We can chop it up. NBA basketball season kicks off this week. Looking forward to it. A lot of people are looking forward to this that watch that type of entertainment. And we shall see how it all plays out. A distraction from other things. But sometimes during the season, issues happen, things happen that end up, being conversation pieces. So we shall see. The NBA still dealing with that whole thing with Daryl Morey, even though LeBron James now has apologized twice, and China. It's kind of interesting, in my humble opinion. But what about you? Good morning to you. Brenda writes, happy Monday. Yes, it is a great Monday. Great to be alive. Happy Monday to you. Clue Magic writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. What's up, Clue? Cutting through the BS podcast. Look for it real soon. See, he writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hey, good morning, Clue. Cincy Tigers writes, morning. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hey, good to see you. Ray writes, good morning. She writes, grand risings all. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Let me get it all out. Terrence writes, good morning, happy Monday, everyone. Same to you, brother. Servant leadership, huh? I respect it. We need more of that. We need more servant leaders in our local political system. It's about the people and not just themselves. I respect it. Fame writes, good morning, folks. Alt-Middle remains steadfast in their efforts to be proper stewards of the youth. Well, it's good to know that somebody cares about the youth, brother. It's good to hear. Tiffany writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Tiffany. Brian writes, morning. It's going to be a rough one this year, Brian. But you know what? If GSW is your team, you just enjoy it. Steph's going to be on look at Steph to be like Apex Predator, Optimus Prime Steph. Look for that. Man, Steph could average 40 points a game, easy. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag team. And hey, good to see you, Jared. Thank you so much. That was me on Twitter. I forwarded you a tweet from Clayton Adams. He is a Green Township Politico. Yeah. I'm Facebook friends, and I believe also Twitter friends with Clayton Adams. What's up to you? Eb G's in the house. She writes, good morning, good people. Make it a great day. Thank you, Nathan, for always keeping us informed. Well, I appreciate that, Eb G. Good morning to you. Let's chop it up. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Pat writes, good morning. Anybody got any great news? Anything you came across over the weekend? Do you have a hero of the week, although it's very early? I'm not going to ask what you would do in that situation because I like to think I would be as heroic as this guy was, but you never know. You never know. Never know. You got a gun flashed in front of your face. It changes. It gets real quick. Real quick. Not a game. Matter of fact, let me post this for you if you've missed that video of the high school gym coach that disarmed a student. Again, he literally took the gun from the guy. You can tell he probably just wanted somebody to, I don't know. I can't speak about it because I don't want to legitimize it. There's no legitimate reason why you should take a gun to school unless other people got guns to school, and that's the only way you can feel safe. The famed Emmett Till Memorial in Mississippi is now bulletproof. Emmett Till. I'll never forget And shout out to his mother, another brave hero, his mother, the mother of Emmett Till, who lost her son. And the bravery that she showed, the intelligence that she showed, was to demand that the coffin would be open so that we can all look at the real face, no puns intended at all, but we can look at what really happened instead of whitewashing it and sanitizing it. I don't know about you, but I remember reading like Ebony and Jet magazine. It was Jet magazine. I never forget the first time I ever saw Emmett Till's face all. I was about 2 years older than him. I'll never forget it when I first saw it. Hit me like a ton of bricks. And this young man's life, sorry about that. This young man's life was taken from us because of the evil scourge of white supremacy. And you know what? Like I said, all these, you got to understand. That's why these white folks that want to call the police on black folks need to be roasted. I don't have no sympathy. I don't give a damn what happens to them after that. They need to go to jail because these are the grandson. See, their great-grandfathers, right? Yeah, that's what happened to Emmett Till. See, back in the day, white folks called the police on you, it could be death. There was a time when that was your ass. It was done for you. And you see some of these folk still playing this out. Most recently, within the last 2 weeks, I saw a video of a black couple that was moving into some apartment complex or condo complex or whatever, where everybody has like a mutual sort of like walk through space. And there was a white woman that was questioning him like, who are you? She starts calling somebody on the phone, blocking their way. She supposed to be walking her dog. She was blocking this couple's way like, who are you? You don't belong here. What? I'm telling you, this stuff has been going on for a long time. But if you don't know it, so Emmett Till's memorial has been vandalized over and over and over again. People have been like shooting up the memorial, like literally, like driving by, some good old boys in a pickup, driving by, just for whatever reason, they got some kind of satisfaction out of shooting up the memorial of Emmett Till. Now, I don't know what the hell they're getting out of that. And you can go to it right now. You just type in your Google or whatever, sometime today, type in the memorial of Emmett Till. You'll see all kind of images of the aftermath of it being riddled with bullets and what appears to be impact marks from high projectile objects and things like that. Because I guess they got a problem. I don't really understand it. I really don't understand. What did Emmett Till ever do? What did he do? And then we found out that the white woman, and we're not surprised like this, but the white woman who apparently he was catcalling to lied about the whole thing. That woman should be in jail. Did she die? I love to be behind her when she meets her maker. I want to see what she get. Because if she get to go to heaven, then it's open borders. It's open borders in heaven. That's how I look at it. You're going to lie directly leads to this young boy being gruesomely beaten to death by two grown white men who went to trial and beat it, by the way. It's a different time then. It's a completely different time. But I'll never forget that, man. It was so powerful, man. I just got choked up this morning thinking about it. It was so powerful when I saw that with Emmett Till. I'm like, oh, this is what is real? This is real. Oh, this is what happened? And, of course, I've already shown my daughter. She's already seen it. I want her to know this ain't no game. It's not a game out here. Carolyn Bryant should be in jail right now. That was the white woman who lied and said that Emmett Till had been catcalling her as if that was something that you should die for. And Carolyn Bryant is like the grandmother, the great-grandmother of these white women, the apartment patio Patty, barbecue Becky, and swim pool whoever, right? Carolyn Bryant is their grandmother. She did it back in 1955, and it directly led to the death of Emmett Till. Flash forward, boom, not even 100 years. And the great-granddaughters are doing the same damn thing. And in some cases, it leads to bad circumstance. Look what happens with the brother here in Ohio at the Beaver Creek Walmart. Same thing. It's no difference. There's no difference. But now his memorial is now bulletproof, which to me is an example that we are living in the last days of common sense. The fact that we have to now bulletproof the memorial of Emmett Till, who was butchered by two grown-ass white male racists, lied on by a white male named Carolyn Bryant, who should have went to jail, by the way. If anybody should go to jail, if anybody should go to hell, it's Carolyn Bryant. You know what I'm saying? God should do us a favor and just send us like a little text message of Carolyn Bryant burning in hell when she get there for what she did to that young man. Period. Period. Period, point blank. Bulletproof. Damn, we living in crazy days. That's all right. Whose idea is fun is that? That's what you're doing over the weekend? As if that really means something. And see, that's the other thing. These racists that's been shooting up his memorial, they think that really means something. It means nothing. Fools. Complete waste of time, in my opinion. But good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Pat writes, good morning. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy Monday. Kelly's in the house. She writes, good morning. Clue writes, yeah, I just got done looking at Migley's Facebook page, and it's not hard to cut through this bullshit. It ain't hard at all. But I'm going to tell you a thing about what I picked up from Migley is that he is a highly skilled political operative. That's what he is. Literally. I mean, that's what he is literally. I'm not saying it in a negative way because you make your money how you make your money. I ain't here to criticize nobody, but that's what he is. He's highly skilled with that. You know, knock on your door, hit you with that, oh, yeah, black teachers and black this. And He know who he talking to. You know, when he go to Hyde Park, he ain't saying that shit. You know, he ain't knocking on them white folks' door in Hyde Park like, yeah, we need more black teachers. And he ain't saying none of that over there. He ain't saying that. That's the game. You talk to your audience wherever they are. As simple as that. I don't know. Pam writes, good morning, y'all. Good morning to you. I love that cutting through the BS. Cut through the BS, Clue. Cut through the BS. We need more of that. Let me see. Did anybody, at some point, I'm going to give you a few flows about this as well, because there's a Black News Network that's kicking off in November, and I'm super interested in seeing what they're doing. But already there's been a major development that kind of changes it a little bit. And I think it's worthy of a conversation that perhaps we'll get into during the next hour. It's called Black News Network. It's going to debut sometime in November. And the founder is J.C. Watts. Remember J.C. Watts? Anybody? Who is J.C. Watts? J.C. Watts used to be a quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners way back in the day. And he also played, I believe, in the CFL. I don't know if he played in the NFL. I think he played in the CFL. Black male Republican. And he was a longtime politician, too. Was he a senator or what exactly was he? Double check here. But he's decided that, he was a House of Representatives. I see that. I don't think he ever made a senator, congressional. Yeah. How he was a rep. And now he's kicking off this Black News Network. And it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to have a particular slant to it, like a bias. When I see J.C. Watts, I'm thinking, But again, I've seen some interviews with him when he says that's not what it's going to be. But then a very wealthy individual, someone who already is the majority owner of the Carolina Panthers, this guy came on and has now purchased a majority stake of Black News Network before it even debuted. Isn't that interesting? Hasn't even debuted. And I've got a few thoughts as to why. I'll share with you. Drop Rice, good morning, Choppers. Mr. Ivy, did you know one of the 2020 desperate Democrats is a Russian asset? Overseer, say it ain't so. Who you speaking of? You speaking of Tulsi Gabbard? Well, Drop, I got one for you. Did you know that the current president is a Russian asset? Did you know that? Russia, can you find the 30,000 emails? And then later that day, Russian cyber terrorists break into, we'll say, the DNC's, data bank or whatever, and breaks into their servers, breaks into their, and releases a lot of information. Very interesting how things happen. It's just a coincidence, though. Just a coincidence, that's all. Russian assets. What's he talking about? Brother Muzone writes, good morning. Morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag Mick Mulvaney does not speak for me. Hashtag Ukraine in the membrane. That's funny. Ukraine in the membrane. I get it. Tracy writes, hi, good morning to you, Tracy. Yeah, it's sad because that is the fourth memorial sign to go up. They have some very sick racists in Mississippi. Yeah, this is what you think is, that's how, what a very unsophisticated and base and just stupid. What do I look like driving past somebody's cemetery, somebody's memorial, shooting it? Hell, I look like doing something like that. Stupid. But I guess they want to send a message. So now they have a bulletproof memorial. It's crazy. Crystal writes, good morning. The picture of Emmett Till disturbs me every time I see it. You know what? And that was the strength and the brilliance of his mama, who fought desperately to make sure that the casket was open. She wanted to make sure that everybody saw what actually happened to her boy. And because the images were so emotional, because I still get emotional about it too. I got emotional early. I had to take a little time out. Man, I was caught in my feelings. I can admit it. Telling you, I mean what I say. As a kid, it left an indelible impression on me, even to this day. The image of what happened to that young boy, for what reason? Wrong place, wrong time. Sad. Muzon writes, I read Mamie Till's book a few years back. Very powerful account of how his death and the aftermath went down. Really, I have not. I would be interested in that, though. I would be interested in that. I really would. Drop writes, why is crooked Hillary helping Trump win in 2020? Russia, if you're listening. Yeah, that came out over the weekend. I don't think that Hillary is trying to help Trump win. Trust me. I don't see that. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Emmett Till was born, Nate. That's heinous thing he did. Yeah. 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 He was born. he had the nerve to be born. Right? He's breathing air. Walking on his 2 feet. Renee writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Renee. Cam writes, good morning. And peace. Thank you. Appreciate that. According to Christianity, if Carolyn Bryant repent right before her death, she gets a ticket to heaven. Can you imagine going to heaven and then you see her up there? No. Yeah. Come on now. How is that right? That don't make sense. Carolyn Bryant, if you don't know, is the woman who lied, white female who lied and said that Emmett Till had, again, I guess, been being inappropriate with her. Even if he had been, I don't think it should be a death sentence. You just correct a young man. Keep on going. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. CG Dubs in the house. She writes, good morning, Choppers. Clue Magic writes, he might be, Nate. A lot of their kids probably don't attend CPS schools. Deborah writes, good morning. Mason Marler writes, meagerly, a.k.a. Sean King, seems a little speck. No, he seems a whole lot more than a little speck. A whole lot more than that. Drop writes, Mr. Marler, what has happened to Team Lightskin 2020, ? Mayor Pete is blowing past Kamala Harris. Is that right? Well, that's what they say anyway. That's what they say. Not so sure if they are telling us the truth or not. Well, let me look at the current numbers. I'm on Real Clear Politics. It seems like I'm doing this every Monday as an update. Nationally, Biden, 29%. That's an average of all the polls. Warren, 23%. That's an average of all the major polls. Sanders, 15%. Buttigieg, 5.8. Harris, 5.4. So it looks like Buttigieg is just a little bit ahead of Harris. So here's the top, say 6 or 7. Biden in order from top to bottom. Biden, Warren, Sanders, Buttigieg, Harris, O'Rourke, Yang. Now what I just read to you is an average of all the national polls. Now, if the polls don't mean squat to you, then do whatever you do with that information. If they have some kind of meaning to you, then that's what's being reported. That's the latest. It's the latest. Biden still ahead. Biden still ahead. Kamala Harris, but there's people out there that really seem to like Buttigieg. He's their guy. It is what it is. Woody writes, JC took too many hits to the head. Iris Rowley writes, good morning, great people. Hey, good to see both of you. Too many hits to the head, huh? I don't know. I mean, just because he's Republican, I don't want to criticize it. You know, that's what he was. It doesn't mean that this is going to be like some black Republican news network. I think we got to wait and see what it is, and we're going to find out. But again, it must be something that's attractive because he attracted a billionaire to partner up, and this man purchased a majority stake in the company. So it's black news, but it ain't even black owned anymore before it even hits. And that's not to say that it's going to be watered down or whatever, because we don't know yet. But I thought it was quite interesting. Quite interesting. I'll talk about it more after 9 a.m. Vladimir, Donald, Putin, Trump. Hashtag what? That's funny. Vladimir, Donald, Putin, Trump. Oh, man. Mike Jones writes, everybody is saying the Khan in chief is the worst president foreign policy ever, among other things at drop. Yeah. Well, you just knew that Donald was going to be Donald. We knew that. And this is the kind of change that people wanted. So let's not criticize it too much. Donald Trump is in office because people voted for him. That's why. And there are people who felt like, you know what, I'm not going to vote because it doesn't really matter. Okay, well, it don't really matter. Muzon writes, they should have put a hidden security camera on the sign to catch the image of the racists because best believe they're going to try to destroy it again. Muzon, I've heard about and talked about when it's been reported the memorial of Emmett Till. They have put up video cameras and surveillance devices. Something always happens. They've been destroyed. But you know what's happening? Somebody's going over there on the night shift, doing some dumb-ish, and getting away with it. That's what's happening. The Mesa Muller writes, unlike Republicans drop, the Democratic Party actually has a big tent. The Dems elected the first black president. But to the Republicans' credit, you elected the first orange president. So, yeah, so it's a trade-off there. So Dems elected the first black president. Republicans helped to elect the first orange president. So, you know, it's a trade-off. They get one, we get one, you know. Tony writes, good morning. Woody writes, hey, dropped on your head if Hillary is a crook, what does that make Don the Con? The worst racist press in America history, and it's KKK. Don't get it twisted. Quite interesting. Okay, so let me turn to this. I'm at Cincinnati.com now. A lot of people will be talking about this today because it's being reported. And essentially what they're doing is giving Steve Meagerly some free press at the same time. But this is local media. Cameron Knight wrote this particular piece for the Cincinnati Enquirer. And that was because there were some people who were on Twitter. Matter of fact, a current Cincinnati Public School Board member went on Twitter to say that a candidate for the board is, quote unquote, a white guy pretending to be black to get votes in ads. The school board member is Mike Morosky. And he was referring to an ad for candidate Stephen Meagerly. So what do you think about the move by Mike Morosky to go on Twitter? You're a current member of the school board, and here you are criticizing somebody that's running for school board. And do you think that that's out of bounds? Is it selective? What do you think? And apparently there's some kind of ad. I haven't seen it. The ad says, elect meagerly, protecting taxpayers, and shows a black couple with 3 children. See, I called out meagerly by looking at the same thing. I told him, it feels like you kind of using black people as props. Who are these black children with these T-shirts on? Because if you look at the image on the faces, and I can read faces very well, ain't nobody smiling. Even the adults are looking like, damn, the shit I got to do for money. That was the faces I saw. I'm like, oh, word, that's what we doing? But like when I asked meagerly, what was his relationship to the black community? Do you know what he told me? He told me that his neighbor was black. Oh, I'm looking at it right here. Okay. Who are these black people? Do these black people really know meagerly? What are their names? I see that Tamaya Denard posted, she talked about on her Facebook page yesterday, along with, I think it was Chris Silbach as well. They were all on Facebook talking about this guy and warning people about him. Why? What is it about him? I don't know. Here's a quote. It's a partisan attack. They have no plan to solve our failing schools. Well, let's be here. Nobody really has a plan to solve the failing schools. Because it's going to take, it's no one plan that could ever do that. There's no one plan that's going to solve our failing schools. I challenge anybody to tell me what one plan is going to solve the saving schools. None. It's going to be a multi-tiered effort over years, creating new systems, not just a plan. I mean, that's realistic, right? That's realistic. Let me see here. I want to be back to the article. And then they start talking about that whole campaign stuff that happened to him back in 2009, which I started the interview with that with meagerly because I knew that's where, I had seen that he had some issues. He had blown up at a forum when somebody brought it up. I don't care about you blowing up. I don't care about you. Who cares? It don't matter. And he had to admit it in the interview. Yes, Nate, it's fine to bring this up. Now, I don't know what he's telling nobody else or what he's telling the media, but he told me himself on the air, yes, Nate, it's fair for you to bring this up because it is. I'm not saying you should use it against him, but it's fair to bring up. It goes to your character. You got a lot of LGBTQ students. Yeah, believe it or not, there's a lot of CPS students that classify as LGBTQ. So if you got a history of doing something a little shady around that issue, it is completely legitimate for people to question you about it. It's going to be that he can get all mad and puff up if he want to. So what? It's legitimate. You see, he says his priorities will be fighting for our students, parents, and taxpayers. So we shall see. I mean, people will make their own decisions. I think it's quite interesting. The Inquirer's giving him some free pub here. White guy pretending to be black to give votes. I don't know if he's pretending to be black, but I'll say it again. He is certainly using black people as props. Ain't no doubt about that. I mean, even other people can see it. That, it's very obvious. Very obvious. And so on my Facebook page, I posted, I'm like, look, if you can't even go to a school board meeting, but you want to be on the school board. I'm just sorry. I mean, it says something about your priorities and what's important. Tells me you ain't really taking it serious. Now, some people are making a big deal. Here's Chris Silbach. He's a Trump-supporting, Tea Party-loving conservative Republican. But even more, he's a white man. Don't be confused. So he might be meagerly might be trying to run that with some people. Now, the majority of the students who go to CPS are what? Exactly. But we're meagerly, are these real black people who are friends of him? They're like, yeah, I'll me and my family, you could take a photograph of us and use it as a campaign photograph. You can do that. Or are these stock photos that you can get off of like iStock and pay like 99 cents a download? Do you know you can do that, right? You know, you got these free Pixabay. They got a lot of them. Some of them are free. You go in there, you type in black folks. You can get all kind of free stock images of black folks you can download and then put your little brand on. Is that what he did? Because if he did that, that would be, like I said, using black people as a token. That's what that would be. Look at this right here. Look at this. It's just so funny because I brought this up last week and now it's in the Inquirer and other people are making the same point that I made. This guy seems like he's full of ish, period. He got a plan. It's a lot of people with plans. I'm glad he's got plans. But who are these black people in this image? I'm looking at it right now. He paid their mama to bring some kids out and put a T-shirt on them. That's why none of the T-shirts fit. That's why none of the T-shirts fit, because they wasn't made for them. I've ordered T-shirts before. You can get kid T-shirts. Those T-shirts were not for those kids. Oh, that's hilarious. And then somebody sent me in a friends page with something about some candidate was bisexual. I don't know about the sexuality of none of the candidates and don't care. That is not a part of the equation for me at all. It was right before I went on, maybe like an hour before I saw it. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know what they was talking about. I had no idea. Oh, man. Meagerly thinks he's smart. And he is. He is smart. I'm not saying the guy isn't smart. He real smart. He real smart. Kind of got to put a wool right over your eyes if you ain't quick. But not here. It ain't going down like here. I can see right through it. But again, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that everything the guy has said is wrong. He might have espoused some things that make great sense. They can be easily adopted by other candidates that are better. But like I said on Facebook, we can do better than Steve Meagerly. We can do better than that. I'm just saying. I think we can do better. Okay, so it's a little bit different here. So Meagerly is running in a special election against incumbent Pam Bowers and Gary Favors for a single open school board seat with a term that expires in December of 2021. There's a separate race for the 3 additional seats that'll be on the ballot. So make sure we understand here. So a vote for Steve Meagerly means you take Pamela Bowers off because she's the incumbent. Black female. I haven't spoken with her yet. I don't know if I'm ready to do that. No, I don't think so. But we'll have to wait and see. I have yet to speak with Pamela Bowers directly. I am aware of her. I have seen her at different forums. I have, did my research, but I haven't got a chance to speak with her yet. But I want people to understand what's going on here. So there's essentially 2 races, right? You got 3 seats to the right. And in that race, you got Eve Bolton, Carolyn Jones, Marlena Brookfield, Heather Couch, and Ben Lindy are all competing for those seats, and Ozzie Davis. And then in the special election, even though local media forgot to put his name in there, writing Ozzie Davis, I believe, is his campaign. Yeah, they left him out of the article. But on the other hand, and since we're talking about Meagerly right now, because he's getting a lot of free press, he's running in a special election against Pam Bowers. So you got Gary Favors, who is a black male, and you have Steve Meagerly, and they're running against the incumbent Pamela Bowers. So that's a little something different over to the side. Okay? Just so you know. So we all on the same page here with what's going on. So it is what it is. What are your takes? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Mike Morales. I mean, you're on the school board. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. It's done now. It's done now. Let me see. So next, I'll be reaching out to Gary Favors. Right? We talked to Steve Meagerly. We got to talk to Gary Favors to be fair. I had reached out to Gary Favors people first, actually, way back. And I did get a response, but I'll make sure I make that happen as much as I can. It'll all be totally up to his time frame. He may or may not have time. But I'm super flexible. Super flexible. Who are these black people? So Meagerly has no connection to Black Cincinnati whatsoever. Running for school board, all of a sudden he's got all these black folks in photographs. Who are they? Who are you? Who are they? I mean, are these friends? Are you paying black folks? I don't care what nobody say. That image of him at the Black Family Reunion, he paid them people. I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to take that to my grave until somebody, even if somebody tell me different, I know what I'm looking at here. You know, I know what I'm looking at. None of the t-shirts fit. Why? He didn't buy those t-shirts for those kids. Because if not, they would have had child-sized t-shirts on. They all got super big t-shirts on. You look at that. Look at that. You look at the adult's face, it's two black females. They're looking like, the shit we got to do for money. That's what they're looking like. That's what they're looking like. I know that face. None of the kids' body language suggests anything. There's a boy sitting real close to him. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes there. Like, is he holding the boy or something? I don't know. This looks like, here, put this t-shirt on. And then he puts this out there and nobody questions him? Nobody checks him on this? It is what it is. Laughing at the dropped on the head name. Good one. Right, that was good. Pam writes, good morning, fam. Hey, good to see you, Pam. What's new? What's new? How are you? Muzon writes, Trump is an orange. His bad tan is some horrible color that hasn't been invented yet. 3 ABs on that one. You're right. He's not really orange. The color orange is pissed off every time we say it. Mason Muller writes, something tells me Meagerly has some nondescript fatheads in his basement. He is a former member of Pastor X's church. See, good morning. 1/3 of my triplets. Love ya, Sister Queen. Drop writes, Democrats will lose if Joe Biden is not the candidate in 2020. Any other candidate, white, must pick a black VP, a.k.a. token. Well, I mean, token is such a crude word, but when you pick a VP, I mean, you want to pick somebody who's going to bring something to the table, right? And if you're a white male or white female, you're not bringing black skin to the table. You ain't bringing that. So yeah, it would make sense that they would look for somebody that might deliver elements of the vote, the electorate that they would naturally have a connection with. So does that mean a black candidate? I'm partial to it as long as it's a good fit and the politics makes sense, but we shall see. If the school district's black majority or white, in Cincinnati, black. Woody writes, why the LGBT threaten your manhood dropped on head? I'm not sure. Steve Meagerly just tweeted, what's the outrage, LOL, did he? Well, I mean, Cincinnati.com just gave him free press. So if I'm Steve Meagerly, I'm happy this morning. Like, y'all keep talking if y'all want to. Because there are some people that's going to see that CincinnatiInquirer.com article and they're going to come from a different lens. They're going to look at it different. They might be like, oh, okay. See these damn Democrats out here persecuting this good white male candidate. Yeah, I was told that Meagerly was doing some canvassing of some neighborhoods, knocked on the door. Hey, you want to talk about school board? And was dazzling folks like, yeah, oh, it makes sense. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. I'll say it again. I never said and don't believe that Mr. Steve Migley is a dumb man at all. Ain't nothing dumb about him. He just thinks that the rest of us dumb. But the other thing about this, there's nothing dumb about us. We ain't dumb. We see this. Here's what it is. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. So if you want to get in and talk about that, please feel free to do so. The door is wide open. Did you hear? This is something hilarious. I want you to get a chair. I'll play it for you before you roll out of here this morning. If I can. It was a very funny takeoff of a classic pop song. And the whole song was about Trump. Now, typically, I don't really get into these kind of things, but I thought it was well done. And I will play it for you this morning. What else are we going to discuss? We're going to talk about Atatiana Jefferson. Why was her funeral postponed? What the hell? What y'all doing? Did you hear this? Woman was supposed to be laid to rest. Her funeral was canceled at the last moment. Why? Because of a bitter division between her parents. Her parents are fighting. Atatiana Jefferson is the black woman from Fort Worth who was shot through the window by a white male police officer who's since been charged and has resigned from the police force in Dallas. And she was supposed to be laid to rest on Saturday, but it was canceled due to a family dispute. Her father, Marquise Jefferson, who initially was in the news because he said he don't want no damn hug. He was talking about how the Botham Jean family was hugging all over Amber Geiger. He was like, I don't want no damn hugs. I want my daughter back. But Marquise Jefferson was granted a temporary restraining order by a local court halting the funeral services from happening. Why? Well, her father argued that he was not a part of the planning process for his daughter's funeral and wanted to be included. The funeral was set to take place, guess where? The Potter's House of Dallas. Bishop T.D. Jakes. Has Bishop T.D. Jakes said anything about what happened in Dallas? Either Amber Geiger or now Atatiana Jefferson? I'm sorry, Botham Jean in Dallas and in Fort Worth now, Atatiana Jefferson. I don't know if T.D. Jakes speaks out on those kind of things. He's too busy looking good in his big man suits. He got all the big man suits you can ever want, T.D. Jakes. Loves to dress good. Let me type this in. T.D. Jakes and Amber. He might have spoke about it. I don't know. Amber Geiger. Let me see. I'm sure he might have talked about it in his in one of his sermons. People love him some T.D. Jakes. They love T.D. Jakes. They love T.D. Jakes ministries and the Potter's House or something like that. That is great. But that's where the funeral was set to take place. That is deep, man. See, it's so sad because, man, been there before, man. I've seen it. You know, you lose somebody in the family, matriarch, patriarch, your shit's not in order. I'm sorry. Your business is not in order, meaning your funeral arrangements are not in order. Now, I'm proud to say, and I encourage all parents that the wifey and I have made proper plans for our funeral arrangements and for our children if something should happen to both of us. Okay? So that the family that's left won't have to scramble around and try to come up with $10,000 to put me to rest. Like I said, when I'm gone, I'm gone. I told the wifey, funeral. Man, cremate me and spread me around the world, return me back to the earth. It really makes no difference. I'll be on to the next adventure. I won't even know what's happening. But my children will still be here. You know, they're younger now. They don't need the burden of trying to come up with the money to bury mom and dad. I've seen it. Lived through it with my grandparents, man. People start, oh my God, you can see the worst of people in situations like that. You really can. Yeah, make you want to take a pistol to the funeral and handle that business with some people. Make you want to get violent. Make you real angry. You just lost somebody And if somebody on some petty stuff, make you real angry. I've been there. I've been that angry person. Mad as hell at family members just because they asking for shit. Asking for vacuum cleaners and shit. Excuse my language. You asking for a vacuum cleaner? I just lost my parent? That's the kind of stuff that makes you angry for life. It does. So, if you don't have your business in order, you haven't made any kind of arrangements, that's just another level of chaos. This is another level of chaos. I mean, could you come up with 10 grand tomorrow just like that? If you had to, could you come up with 10 grand tomorrow just like that? Now, if you can say, yeah, statistically, that's a great thing. It's a very good thing because a lot of folks don't have it like that, especially a lot of black folks don't have it like that. So now you got the burden of trying to come up with 10 grand or whatever to, have a proper burial. Now you got all the emotions and, old stuff will start coming up. Stuff that happened 15 years ago and 17 years ago and all that kind of stuff starts coming out. And then you're going to get the vultures that want to pick the bones and come over and see what they can pick out. And she told me that I could have this chair 17 years ago. All I had to do was just come pick it up. And now that she's passed, she want to come pick it up and all this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, people can be very, very thoughtless. They can be very cruel, and self-righteous at the same time. Feel like they ain't doing nothing wrong. So when I read that, I thought, oh, man, see, that's what's happening with this family, man. You don't expect to lose her like that. She's like 28 years old. Nobody expected her to die suddenly like that. Now the family's scrambling. Her father said he can't afford the funeral costs to pay for his daughter's funeral. And I do know that there's a GoFundMe up right now, which the last time I checked, people were actually putting money into it. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. If you haven't already done so, you got children or whatever, just take a little time and get your ish together, man. Just think about, okay, something happens to me. What am I going to do? If something happens to me, I'm incapacitated. What are my kids going to do? Just take a little time. They got insurance for these kind of things. I'm a big proponent of prepaid plans for certain things. You know what I'm saying? Get your little prepaid plan, right? You're paying on it, quarterly or monthly or whatever, yearly. You know what I'm saying? Just on some smart stuff. Hopefully you'll never need it, but when you do, boom. You don't have to run around trying to get up 10 grand. Oh, I need $2,000 more for this, for that. Dying in America is expensive. Dying slowly in America, you'll be bankrupt in a year. Before that. Dying fast in America, even that's expensive. That's what I take from this whole story with Atatiana Jefferson and the unfortunate circumstances with her family canceling this and that. And it's just not good, man. And then everybody grieves differently. Some people are angry when they grieve. They're angry grievers. Some people are like, they just get real chill. They don't really want to talk to nobody and want to go about their own way and mourn in their own way. But people will flip on you real quick when they got something emotional going on in their life. So let me see here. And Fame, right? So on Friday, we talked with Ben Lindy on Friday. What'd you think about the conversation with Ben Lindy? I got a chance to listen back to it. And I'm really curious as to what you think. Do you think he is a good candidate for school board? Can you see him on school board? Yeah, there's a few things that stuck out to me with Ben Lindy that I want to talk about this morning. And we'll get to it, 513-873-7134. Gladys writes, I was mad at him throwing those shirts on those babies like that. Hey, good morning to you, Gladys. So was I. He probably shot the mom 50. And that's why her face looked like that, because she was thinking, damn, I should have got 100. And then that's the look on her face. He shot me 50. I should have got 100. Sitting there mad. And it's just very, very obvious. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Somebody just sent me a link to YouTube. And the father of Atatiana Jefferson held a news conference. And this news conference was after he put in the order to have them to stop the funeral on Saturday. Let's check this out.
A word of prayer, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about why we're here.
Gracious Father, we call upon your mighty and
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. For now, let me go take a phone call. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, you want to know how I feel about Ben? Oh, first of all, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, how I feel about Ben Lindy? Hell no. Hell no, do not vote for that guy either. The way he answered that Teach for America question, he don't want to talk about the kickbacks he get, but you're dealing with public funds. Even though Teach for America's payment to you isn't public, you're dealing with public funds and don't want to tell us the kickback you getting for it when you're obviously getting one. There's something about you right there unsavory and untrustworthy. I can't have you being a steward of my children if I had kids in the district. You understand what I'm saying? He's just as untrusty as Megali as anybody else. Morosky, he out there talking about the stadium and all types of other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with kids. You guys obviously have long-term personal agendas that have nothing to do with the children of Cincinnati Public Schools. So therefore, we're just going to get rid of you now and go try and do your long-term agenda, whatever it is, city council, county representative, or some type of business interest that you have. Get rid of these guys instantly. So that's how I feel about Lindy.
All right. Appreciate it.
And as far as Atatiana, see the dad, once he seen Ben Crump and Lee Merritt come through, he realized he want no part of this. Him and the mom were probably estranged anyway. You got a situation where, they probably didn't get along throughout the whole time. And he spent some time in Atatiana's adult life trying to make up that relationship. But so they obviously are divided about something. And I believe it has to deal with Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump.
In what way?
These ambulance chasers, black pain chasers, if you will.
So you say, what makes you think they're black pain chasers? I mean,
they only show up when somebody got busted up or shot, killed, or maimed.
But that's what they do.
They fake civil rights leaders. Like a matter of fact, your man Tariq Nasheed just put out a YouTube last night. I didn't really catch it. I fell asleep. Said, are these civil rights leaders or civil rights settlements? They ain't about, no, trust me, because every time they show up, something wrong happens. Either the case goes wild, they lose, or, there's a small settlement involved. And so I mean, in this case, with Atatiana is no different. They don't even want to bury the girl. Every time they pop up, something wild happens. And now the going rate for shooting a black person is $6 million, cash and other accoutrements. $6 million for a black life. That's the going rate because of these two lawyers.
Do you think
you're worth more than $6 million, Nathan?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know if I want to blame these lawyers.
Oh, they ain't helped nothing. What have they helped?
Didn't Crump just win a case?
I got to take this call, Nathan. I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't know if he won a case or not. But I wouldn't want him. If somebody in my family, if I took a bullet from the state like that and got killed, I would, I would hope my family, my surviving family, would know, keep this guy away from it at all costs. Literally. But I got to take this call. I'll holler back at you. Ow!
He even got the howling. Appreciate it. Let's talk about Lizzo. Lizzo's a black female artist And she got a song out there that women just love. It's got a line in it. It goes, I just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Women love that song. They love that song. And I think that Lizzo is really talented. She says, I just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that. And you know what I'm talking about. Why men great till they gotta be great? Oh, women just love singing that. Y'all just love that. Just fits y'all little motif about the brothers, right? Why men great till they gotta be great? And she ain't even write the damn lyric. Apparently there's a music producer that says that Lizzo basically lifted her song and wants credit. Apparently that opening right there, that quote, I just took a DNA test. Turns out, apparently she took that from a song called Healthy that was written back in 2017. She plagiarized it. That's what it looks like. And apparently Lizzo's on Instagram talking about black excellence, working hard. And the person who wrote the line is like, hold up. True, but that's my black excellence. And apparently she's speaking out now because of emotional distress, which means I need to get paid. So this ain't good. And apparently the whole song, I mean, there's two accusations of plagiarism. All right. Back in February, a British singer named Mina Lioness, she charged that Lizzo stole the term 100% that bitch from her. Lizzo debunked the claim, saying she was motivated by a meme that she saw. Yeah. So, I mean, these rappers, man, see, in today's world, it don't really matter. Like, fans don't care. Fans don't care who wrote the song. All they care about is they like the song and she's performing it. Her name is on it. That's all that matters. Like, back in the day, doing something like that would kill your career. Today, nobody cares whether Drake's writing them song or not. Nobody cares whether Drake really wrote the song. What's that song about when he was giving away all the money in the video? The Drake song, you know what I'm talking about? Nobody cares whether he wrote that song or not, do you? All you care about is this dope. That's all you care about. Nobody's like, oh, man, damn, Drake stole that song, man. How you gonna say that song, Drake? I ain't effing with Drake, man. Now, maybe back in like the 80s when authenticity was more important, but now it don't matter. Look at Tekashi 6ix9ine's about to get out. When he gets out of jail, he's gonna be received in a big way, like a celebrity's coming home. And he's gonna start making music. And if the music's dope, nobody's gonna be like, oh, he snitched. No one's gonna look like that. No one's gonna be thinking that. A music producer claims he wrote Lizzo's Truth Hurts and wants the credit. So Lizzo out here, basically, she, stealing people's work. Justin Raisden posted a video on Instagram calling out the singer, saying she plagiarized a song he allegedly worked during a writing session back in 2017 called Healthy. Is that right? So let me go to his, So let me play both of these songs back to back, and we can decide. You can decide for yourself. So here's the verse.
I'm 100% that bitch, even when I'm crying crazy. I just did a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch, even when I'm holistic. I just did a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch, even. Oh, he's not.
So that was the two songs back to back. If you didn't know, Well, Lizzo, I don't know if she's a fraud, but all these singers, man, they ain't writing their stuff like that. Yeah, people will do that. People will hear your idea and run with it. In the music world, they've been doing it for years. So She was in the recording session like, oh, that's dope. Mental note. Right? Any Lizzo fans out there? And don't lie. Because women love that song. Can you hear me now? Cincy Megs GOP. Do not vote for Lindy, Murawski, or Megerly. Let's see, Lindy. Let me go back to Ben Lindy, my impression. My impression of Ben Lindy is that he needs to get out of his privilege. And there's a couple things after I talk with Ben Lindy. Okay, let me tell you my concerns first. My concerns is the duplicity in being both the CEO of the nonprofit Teach for America and also be on the Cincinnati School Board. He can say whatever he want to say. The reality is there's a big question mark as to what that means. Okay. And I could see if I was a nonprofit CEO board that was as a vendor for CPS, hell yeah, I want to be on the school board. This affects my business. That's the business I'm in. Oh, I think he said something like, what difference would it make, Nate? Come on, man. I just looked at the microphone, which is as close I can get to, when I'm on the air. Just looked at it like, is this guy for real? He's privileged, but that don't mean that he doesn't know what the issues are. I just hope that if he gets on the school board, every answer isn't Teach for America. Because some people get so caught up with the way they see things that they become inflexible. Let's see what else. I did talk about a privilege, right? Yeah, grew up in Hyde Park, now back living in Hyde Park. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But my question is, are you close enough to what's really going on to really know what's going on? Walnut Hills grad, but he ain't been back to Walnut Hills. Don't know shit about what's going on over there whatsoever. And you see that a lot with these Walnut Hills grads. Oh, they want to beat their chest. Blah, 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 Walnut Hills. You have not been back there. You don't know what's going on. See here. But these are just some of my concerns. That doesn't mean like he shouldn't be voted for. People got to make their own decisions, but all these folks are going to have different pros and cons and levels of experience and things like that. And it doesn't mean that it should necessarily disqualify them or not, but it does speak to who they are and what their lens is going to be. If they get on the school board, so those are my thoughts on Ben Lindy. Fame says no, but, make your own. Prayers for the father who was killed yesterday in Westwood. # stop the violence. Yeah, no, Brian Gary is is involved with the stop the violence issue here in the city of Cincinnati. He's trying to bring all the neighborhoods together, which is yeoman's work. Hope he works. Hope he's successful. Be great. Your headline is misleading. Security guard giving in to impulses foolishly repeated the racial slur he was called. He wasn't using professional appropriate language around children in their safe place. They were in a school, not on the block. All right. Well, let's go there. We can discuss it. 513-873-7134. A school security guard called a racist slur, then fired for verbally reprimanding the student. And I would say if you work in a school building, whether you work in maintenance, security, whether you work in food services, every last one of them at some point has an opportunity to engage with our kids. Every last one of them. So a student in Wisconsin is said to have repeatedly used the N-word during a heated exchange with a high school security assistant. However, in the end, the security guard lost his job. Why? Marlon Anderson, security assistant, said he tried to explain what the word meant and how offensive it was. His use of the word ultimately cost him his job. Back on October 9th, Anderson said despite repeated requests to refrain from using the slur, the student kept calling him an N-word during the exchange at West High School in Madison, Anderson. The students were both black. So you know what was going on here. He was calling him NIGGA. Less than a week after the conversation, Anderson was terminated from employment due to the school district's zero tolerance policy on the use of derogatory language by staff members. Apparently, there are some people who are fighting to get his job back. They feel like the rule failed him. So if the class is reading To Kill a Mockingbird and the teacher is reading a book out loud and gets to the part where the N-word is, the teacher gets fired? Of course, that's a different context. So apparently he started using the N-word to explain to them and break it all down. But can anybody tell me what he could have done that would have saved his job? I mean, I think I've got the gist of what went down. He's dealing with these students, these young black students using the N-word. Nigga, please. Man, nigga, get out my face. Nigga, you ain't my daddy. You know, all this kind of stuff, right? He starts feeling all conscious now. Now he wants to be conscious, brother. So he wants to try to school these brothers and give them a history of the N-word. So he probably started using the N-word and all the N-I-G-G-R. Hey, there's a difference between N-I-G-G-R and N-I-G-G-A, right? And he was probably using the word because he was probably upset, emotional, and he wanted to maybe try to impart some wisdom on these brothers. But can somebody tell me what his fatal flaw was? I mean, he did have some alternatives. On Friday, many students participated in a walkout and marched to the district administration building in Madison. And the teachers union filed a grievance on his behalf. So apparently, that's wild. But I do see a flaw in the way that he reacted. He could have just said N-word. He could have said, come here, man, listen, don't use the word, but just say N-word. Say, listen, bro, listen, you saying N-I-G-G-A, right? Let me school you on what that really means. Okay, you can just spell it out. You can say N-word. You can do a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? He could have did all of that, and it would have saved his job. Real simple. You know what I'm saying? I guess the policy is that you don't get a pass just because some students are acting, like students. They're acting like young people. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, Drop Squad 52, calling in from the left coast, also known as the People's Republic of California. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome.
Thank you. If you would allow me, I would like to piggyback on Fame Rothstein, also known as the Conceited Bastard, his call about Atatiana Jefferson. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Jeffries?
Jefferson.
Yeah. Well, Nate, I'm looking at a story from Fox 4 in Dallas-Fort Worth about Marquise Carter, the father of Atatiana, and a dispute that he's having with the family. And the reason why the funeral that was due to be held at T.D. Jakes Potter House, and he was going to give the eulogy along with Reverend Al Sharpton. Now, I would like to read you this quote, if you would allow me, from the Fox 4 story, because I don't think that's what you were reading from when you were talking about this in your monologue. It says, in seeking a restraining order, Marquise included a copy of a birth certificate which lists him as a father and said he was even a father up until her death and involved in her life. Marquise Carter suggested some people involved with the funeral planned for Saturday that was at the Potter's house are doing instead for cameras' attention. Now, this is a direct quote right here from Marquise Carter. Quote, I believe that there's enough people who are looking for you people to show up so they can lift their platforms, Carter said. Quote, they may roll in an empty coffin. Who knows? They'll sing songs. They'll dance around. They'll fall out. They'll go back, and it'll be over with. So when you ask me about things people do for you to show up, they'll continually do it as long as you show up. So Nate, this whole thing is a big mess. And again, that's their family, have nothing to do with it. But it's clear that what Fane was saying is correct. Al Sharpton is going to be speaking at the funeral. Okay, so right there, that tells you, Nate, there's some race hustling going on. So it's sad that this happens in the black community, but it is what it is when you bring these type of individuals that Marquise Carter, the father of the young lady, this is what happens. So they're going to have it at another location. I think it says this Thursday, and T.D. Jakes will give the eulogy. They didn't mention that Al Sharpton would be giving the eulogy. So, I mean, this whole thing is tied up in court because the lady, Atatiana's mother, her sister is doing most of the speaking for the family. So there's a feud right now. There's a court case pending. So this whole thing is a mess, Nate, and it's unfortunate. Iris Rowley, she said it. She knows all this stuff. She sees it. She's been around it. So I think she knows what's going on here. And I saw one other thing real quick. There was an estimate that her estate, after all the settlement and the legal cases with the Dallas-Fort Worth Police Department, her estate could be worth upwards of $10 million. So again, like I always say, Mr. Ivy, cash rules everything around me. What's in your wallet? Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Appreciate the call. I mean, is race hustling? Well, we do know that Harrison Barnes, black male, he used to be with the Golden State Warriors. I believe he plays with the Dallas Mavericks, or he did for some time. He said that he would pay for Atatiana's Jefferson's funeral. Okay, that was back on the 18th, it was reported. So since then, it's been reported that the father is pulled out, had an injunction, and they stopped the funeral on Saturday. So is there some race hustling going on? I hope not. I hope not, but we'll find out. We'll find out. And listen, I joke about Benjamin Crump, but for whatever reason, people keep calling him. You know, maybe he's in a specialized sort of field. I don't know. But they do need some representation before they move forward. I mean, this woman, you know, they're going to sue the Fort Worth police. They're going to win. The chief of police has already ensured that by his previous statements. And, you know, we'll have to wait and see. It was a year. It was a year before Amber Geiger went to trial. A year. So I would expect for a year before the Atatiana Jefferson case goes before a jury, and then you'll probably have it fully televised, and we'll be talking about, listen, in a year from now, we'll be talking about the case of Officer Dean, and is he going to be found guilty, and what's going to happen to him. I hope he doesn't get the Amber Geiger judge. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Gladys writes, the stadium didn't have anything to do with CPS? ? Of course it did. And that's a big question for any incumbent. Any incumbent that was they need to be explained to us in detail why it was such a good idea. You know, because they claim it. You know, I saw Carolyn Jones at a forum, and she's like, "Look, it's what we did. We'll do it again." Okay. Can you explain it to me? Why? Break that down for me. Iris writes, Nathan, his father saying he can pay. He has insurance, took out a policy 20 years ago. It's really sad that this is playing out in the public. Listen to the link below from the father that I posted. Gladys writes, hold on now, Nathan. Don't come for truth hurts. Apparently truth hurts is a dope line, but it's not her line. Lizzo's a fraud. Kinda. Like, what I liked about Lizzo is because she was what people would call not some, European body, and I love to see women and men rise above that, that confidence, you know what I'm saying? I love it. But then I start hearing that she was stealing other people's, lines or whatever and not giving them credit. And what I would say is, that's how people are. What's the sign? Do anything for clout? Some people would do anything for clout. They'll do anything for clout. And, you know, if you're Lizzo, did she take that song from her? I've seen memes like that. So I don't think there's going to be any payouts. It is what it is. You have to admit that's a dope line. I do admit it's a dope line. I do admit. Mike's in the house. Mike Davis, he writes, what's good, family? Rise and shine, young stars. Rest in power. Coach Dennis Bettis. Dennis Bettis. I don't think I know Dennis, but local brother. Mike Jones writes, never heard of her. Lizzo. Renee writes, not a fan of Lizzo lyric at all. Okay, good. Mason Marlon writes, God's Plan. That was the Drake saying, right. Everybody loves that God's Plan song by Drake. Does it matter to you whether he wrote it or not? Nope. Nobody cares. Now, in the 80s and 90s, it mattered. If you wanted to be big in hip hop and it came out that you wasn't writing your own rhymes, you was done. But that's 20-some years ago. It's a whole different ethos now, a whole different generation. They don't give a damn about who inspired what. They want to hear the end result in the product. Sharp writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Sharp. Renee writes, B word equals fighting words. Who Magic writes, ghostwriters get credit these days or they sue you, right? Pharrell, the new masculinity. Who, man, I saw somebody posted this somewhere. I think it was inside the Friends page. You got all these funny Facebook comedians and stuff, man. And this brother was like, he said that Pharrell looked like a shuttlecock. A shuttlecock is what you use in badminton. It's what the hell? It's what you hit. It's called a shuttlecock. And then he had a photograph of a yellow one. It looks just like that. What in the hell? He said that Pharrell looked like Jaden Smith after he becomes president. So get ready for it. Jaden Smith will be president one day. And he's not going to wear a traditional suit when he does the inauguration. He ain't doing that. He's going to wear that same outfit that Pharrell is wearing on GQ magazine. As far as I'm concerned, GQ magazine has lost all credibility. Completely. So now I'm reading that Cher has offered to pay legal fees for the security guard fired over telling a student, I'm not your nigga. So that's what happened. So the black security guard is dealing with two black students. They have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to the N-word. The two students are using the N-word like N-word this, N-word that. Don't touch me. You ain't my daddy. You ain't my daddy. You ain't my daddy. You ain't even my mama's boyfriend. I don't know. Who are you, nigga, right? You've seen it. You've heard it. The school security officer, who's a black man, he gets so upset that he starts saying, I'm not your nigga. And that's what got him fired. That's what got him fired. And now he's sitting here crying. See, that's what kills me. If you're going to make a move, make the move. Crying about it afterward, save it. If you're going to do it, do it. All I'm here to say, I need Cher is now stepping in. She's going to pay his legal fees and all this kind of stuff. All he had to do was not use the N-word. He said, don't call me that. Don't call me the N-word. Don't call me the N-word, he told the student. And then he was fired shortly after the incident. Should he have been fired? And the answer is yes, he should have been fired. He violated the policy. The policy is don't use the N-word. It's not don't use the N-word unless you get into a situation where a student, a child is using the N-word at you. It's don't use the N-word. You know, we don't pay you to act like the kids. He got in his feelings. He didn't like, some people, black people really don't like being called the N-word. Like it's ready. They're ready to fight. And I get it. Great. Quote, I shouldn't be punished because I have the right to tell someone not to call me this word. Yes, you should. Because you didn't have to use the word. You could have just said, look, don't call me the N-word. I'm not your N-word. He could have said just like that. I'm not your N-word, son. Keep it classy. Keep it professional. If he had done what I said, he could have made his point and still his job would not have been in jeopardy. You are the adult. You're not getting paid to act like a child in school. These are children. They might say anything. So I understand why he was fired. I get it. Is it right? I would say it depends on what you mean by right. Look, it can't be we have a policy until you overhear or the students say something to you, and then we don't have a policy anymore. That cannot be the policy in the school. The policy in the school can't be staff can't use the N-word, zero tolerance, until a student uses it, and then you can use it, because that's not really a policy. And how many people agree with me? TNT's in the house. She writes, good morning. Good morning to you. Clue Magic writes, yeah, Lizzo bit that. I'm not a biter. I'm a writer for myself and others. When I say a B.I.G. verse, I'm only bigging up my brother, right? Yeah, it would be different if Lizzo had gave them credit on the song, which means you might have to pay them a little bit. They get a couple of points off the record. Cool. Everybody's happy. But Lizzo didn't do that. Just like Pharrell and your boy, what's the guy? Yeah, they was trying to steal that song from the family of a soul icon superstar Marvin Gaye, and then had the nerve to go to court and try to argue against it. Like, nah, this song's totally different. The song sounds just the same. Oh, it's totally different now. Yeah. That you can't be an N-word while trying to explain what an N-word or bigger is. Drop-zo? Drop-zo. Andy Dalton is the drop of quarterbacks. That is hella demeaning to drop. See, I'm going to say it again since you brought up Andy Dalton. I hope the Bengals go 0-16. Why? For two reasons. Number one, I'm not convinced that the Bengals really matter that much locally. I'm really not convinced. I like to know how much money they really generate when you got a stadium that's fucking empty. How much they really generating down there? And the stadium's empty all the time because the team is so horrible nobody wants to watch them. I hope they go 0-16 because all those people was talking ish about Marvin. Where you at? Where you at? Oh, Marvin's the worst. I hate the way he calls plays. I hate the way he just stands there. Oh, Marvin this, Marvin that, and now you're 0-7. Pathetic. I'll say it again. NBA teams should be able to choose NBA ownership because that's what the problem is. And that orange and black. It's time to update the colors. We need to get whoever designs like those cool ass college uniforms needs to come in here and redesign the uniforms for the Bengals. And all those years of losing and misery, we just get rid of it with a new uniform. Brand, nothing says new like a new suit, right? New threads. That's what they need. Just the misery, the pain, the disappointment is all in that orange and black. Every time I see it, I think misery, pain, patheticness. That's what needs to happen. And I'll say it again. At the very least, Zach Taylor needs to heavily invest in Cincinnati in terms of his philanthropy. Because we didn't just lose Marvin Lewis, the coach, we lost Marvin Lewis, right? Wealthy dude, local celebrity who was super involved with philanthropy and the community on a lot of different levels. We ain't even getting that from Zach Taylor. If he's going to go 0-7, his ass needs to be in the community using his celebrity, start some nonprofits, do something. Because he ain't giving us nothing. We're getting nothing out of it. Zero. Except we can drive past and say, that's the Bengals stadium. It's the closest most people ever get to the stadium is driving past it on 75. And I told you. Oh, Marvin wasn't the problem. Do white people hate on high-profile lawyers like black people do? Mike writes, get rid of all the Andy Daltons in your life. He said, get rid of all the Andy Daltons in your life. Sustained. Sustained on that one. Hear that. We don't need any Andy Daltons on the Cincinnati School Board or these judicial candidates. You got the NAACP forum coming up today. It'll be at the Community Action Agency. Kicks off at 6 p.m. It's going to be interesting. Mike Jones writes, Ray writes, Andy Dalton is weak as hell. He never takes personal responsibility for the role he plays. Always us, we the team. Ray, I'll say it again. I emotionally attached from the Bengals about 7 years ago when they brought Andy in. When they brought Andy in, I watched him for a season. And I knew he did not have the what? The what? The eye of the tiger. He didn't have the eye of the tiger. He didn't have that, I want to dominate. I'm that dude. He is not. And we deserve better. But Cincinnati run around, come in. Nobody's calling him the Red Rifle anymore. Remember this? Oh, the Red Rifle. Okay, I will. Oh, the Red Rifle. Nobody's saying that ish anymore, are they? Red water pistol. And half the time, it doesn't have water in it. So you push a little. You ever get that? I used to love water guns when I was a kid, and they would always go bad. Like you could pull the trigger, but no water would come out. That's Andy Dalton. The broken water pistol. The most useless thing in the world. Is there anything more useless than a broken plastic water pistol? No. Nothing. I don't think there's anything more useless than that. Cheap-ass water guns. We spend like $1, $1 on like $5 and get like 5 water guns. Think we was going to have fun. 5 minutes later, the trigger, everything works. There's water in it. No water coming out. Cheap-ass water gun. That's Andy Dalton. I remember him back in the 9th grade at Woodward. Bettis. I didn't know Bettis. I guarantee you BDP wrote Superho. I'm just saying. My son made me, LOL, start watching the documentary on Wu-Tang. It's pretty good. My little bro, shout out, bro, if you're listening, Reen, he's been telling me about it, but I just haven't had the chance to get to it. It's on my list of things to watch, the Wu-Tang, and I've heard it was great. Clue Magic writes, I can kind of hear him saying it like a girl, too. Don't call me a nigwa. He most definitely got in his feelings. Right, he got in his feelings with some kids. You don't let no kids get in your head. It's a child. 17, 16, 18, I don't care what it is. You a kid. Little bro, come over here, little bro. You know what I'm saying? Little nug him in the head. Stop it, man. Where your mama at? Y'all here embarrassing your folks? Go sit your ass down somewhere, man. That's it. Man, why are you talking to me like that? You know, you just ways you deal with it. But I'm not going to start saying the word. I don't need to do that. The security guard got in his feelings. Now he wants to justify it on some, I'm offended as a black man because of the N-word. You were dealing with children. These are high schoolers. That's a kid. You know, if you want to school them on the N-word, tell them. Pull them to the side. There's people that pull you to the side and grab you up and tell you like, look, bro, I ain't your N-word. But if you use the N-word yourself, that's just part of the game of being a professional in a school building and all that kind of stuff. If you use the word yourself, you open yourself up to be subject to what happened next. And now he's got celebrities on his side. For what? Now I agree with him. He should not have to be called the N-word. I blame the mother and father of those young men that was disrespecting that man like that. If that was my son, you already know. I'm going to teleport up there, bloop, 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 like Nightcrawler from the X-Men. I'm going to be there immediately to handle that business with my son. Because that's not how we raised you, B. Where you get that from? He going to immediately get checked. But that's me. That's how I look at it. That's a defect of the parents. If you doing that at school, you doing that at home. Run around using the N-word in your house. Oh, you grown? Get out and get yourself a place. We'll holler at you. Yeah, we ain't going that way, but still, you still have a way that you have to be professional, when you're dealing with people's kids. And they might be saying the craziest thing ever. It doesn't mean you should reiterate it. You shouldn't, because you're being judged and governed and ruled by a whole different set of rules and regulations than the students in the school building. It's not the same. And it never should be the same, because they're the students and you're the adult that's working in the building as a security guard. And I've seen this before. That's why I say security guard, anybody that works inside of a school, you got to make sure they got the right mental, because at some point they're going to come in contact with kids. You know what I'm saying? And if you let it go unchecked, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. So, good morning to you, millions. Robin, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. See here. Back to your chat. Yeah, I think that the security guard should not have used the N-word. He should have just said N-word. Or he should have said, don't call me an N-I-G-G-A. Young bro, let me school you on what the history of that word is and what you're really saying. That's all he had to do. But he got in his feelings. You're hurting my feelings. You're a kid. Ain't nothing you're going to say that's going to hurt my feelings. Because I expect for a kid to say anything. 17, 18, they might tell you anything. I'm supposed to get all upset because a kid said something? No. Mike Davis writes, Coach Dennis Bettis was coach at Woodward High School during the glory days, 80s and 90s. Always opened the Woodward gym to us ballers and started the Devereaux Summer League. Really? Great father, coach, friend. T'Challa will be greatly missed. Or T'Challa will be greatly missed. Okay, so he opened the Devereaux Summer League. I never played in it, man, but I watched it, man. Great balling. The walls be sweating in there, boy. Brothers in there going at it. Everybody watching. Super fun. Ray Wright said, Nathan, smoke policy, smology. Law enforcement policy, don't shoot and kill unarmed citizens. Yeah, it's still happening with little to no repercussions. CG Dub writes, when keeping it real goes wrong. If a teacher can be fired for using the N-word, then a student should be expelled. How about that? Well, I mean, that's up to the principal. It's up to the principal. Let me see, Nathan. Well, do you know what ABC is to the school board? Activities Beyond the Classroom is a nonprofit that runs the athletics for CPS, including hiring the athletic directors and control the spending for all athletics. Will America put a gay married man in the White House before a white woman? You talking about Pete Buttigieg? I just feel like there's parts of America that have moved past beyond being outraged about somebody being openly homosexual. 20 years ago, that would have stopped you in some areas. Now, it doesn't seem to be as relevant to a lot of people. But we shall see. I would say no. The Bengals are guaranteed $12 to $20 million a week due to NFL revenue sharing. Right. What is he saying? Translation, it don't matter whether they win or not. Doesn't really matter. Because over the course of 16 games, they're going to make $100 million no matter what. So what's the real incentives to get radical and change anything? Do you think you could get by with $100 million a year? Tanika writes, the Bengals' issues are bigger than uniforms, Nate. You're right. But those uniforms are a symbol of losing. It's time to switch it up. I'm silently laughing at work. You can hear a rat piss on cotton, sober looks, and well, we have next year comments. Ravens, huh? They're doing well. Got a good quarterback up there. Tracy writes, it's ridiculous that this employee is unemployed and the kid is in class probably laughing about it. I agree. He probably is. If he's in class, he's probably laughing about it, but I don't know if it's ridiculous that he got sat down. I don't know if that, because again, the policy is that adults can't use the N-word. The policy is not, you can't use the N-word unless a student uses it, and then you can use it when you're trying to correct them. I know it's hard for people to understand, but the security guard was wrong. I don't expect for the adults in the school building to break down on some emotional ish and start breaking the policies just because they choose to. Because I guarantee you, there's probably more incidences than that's happened in that school and other schools that people never hear about. You know, these students are trying the patience of a lot of people that work inside a school building. Candy Dalton is what Candy Dalton. That is funny. Candy Dalton. That is hilarious. That is funny. Mike Jones writes, the adults in the school are held to higher standard than the children because they are children. Right. If you work in a school, I don't expect for you to use the N-word. Even if you're dealing with a student that's using the N-word with you, that's when that patience come in. That's when the adult part of the job comes in. Let them say that nonsense and deal with them professionally. That's what I would say. Do I think that this man is like he's malicious and da-da-da-da-da? No, I think he needs to have some training so he can deal with his emotions and how to deal with like heated situations, some de-escalation techniques. And quite frankly, I think maybe somebody should sit him down and let him know that you had options, bro. You didn't have to use, I'm not your nigga, he kept saying. You don't have to say that. You're in a school. You're in a school. I'm not your nigga. That's what he was saying over and over again. He didn't have to use the word. All he had to do was check this and say, hey, listen, young man, I'm not your N-word. All he had to do. Boom. Now, how easy is that? That's all he had to do. And he never would have gotten discipline, we'll put it that way. He never would have got discipline. That's it. You can't be a security guard working with kids and then get in your feelings and then get off script. And that's what happened. Tiffany writes, if a security guard can't correct the students, why are they even there? I agree. He can correct the students, but you shouldn't be using the N-word with the student. Just say N-word. That's it. Just say N-word. And it's all done. Tracy writes, we are not making kids better by saying they're just kids. The guard was taking advantage of a teachable moment. You got teachers in Mason who did mock slavery auctions that still have a job. FOH. I understand. He says teacher. That's funny. I missed it. Sorry. Teacher equals teacher. Thank you. I don't expect my 18-year-old to say anything that's crazy. He should be thinking on another plane by then. Yeah, I'm just saying. All right, let me jump inside the Friends page this morning. Thank you for listening. I also want to play for you a little bit of what happened at that press conference with the father of Atatiana Jefferson. And I think it's sad. Hopefully they can get a chance to clear it all up. I opened the show talking about the article from Cincinnati.com. They're giving Steve Meagerly some free press here. He's getting a lot of free press out of that. Is Warren, Sanders, or Biden versus Trump? All of the other Democrats are irrelevant. That's from Robert Reich, who actually does some great videos. What is that now? Oh, yeah, here it is. Danita wrote this. Nathan Ivy, I saw your post about another CPS board member candidate. What does this candidate's sexuality have to do with what she can bring to the table for students at CPS? I would say nothing. Yeah, I don't know anything about anybody's sexuality, or I'm not aware of anything about school board, and it doesn't really make a difference to me at all. I don't care if you're homosexual or bisexual, makes no heterosexual. So what? Yeah, that's not what I'm caught up on. I'm sorry. If you missed it, and I know that many of you did, it's worth checking back and checking out the Is It Just Me podcast posted on Friday with Donnie B. She was actually inside of the debate room, the debate hall this past week, up in north of Columbus. And I thought she broke it down very, very well. You can also check out the latest Truth to Power podcast up right now as well. And the latest Hot Mic podcast. Got a brand new podcast that's dropping soon. It's called Cutting Through the BS. Very appropriate for the days that we live in. As I say, we're living in the last days of common sense. Hosted by two folks that are locally based. And again, Sin Digital is all about elevating, Black voices, female voices. And we believe in more talk and not less talk. More talk, not less. We need more conversations, not less conversations. But it's worthy to go back and hear her analysis and break it all down. I'll share it for you, or you can go to Sin Digital Media and check it out for yourself. What in the hell? What is that, Jerica? Jerica posted something 17 hours ago. This is some super sharpshooter, man. Damn. This dude is on some Slick Richard. Yeah, I hope Slick Richard don't shoot himself in the chest. So Slick Richard is, oh, okay. Oh, boy. What in the hell? I don't even know. What is that? That is quite interesting. I don't know what was attached to that video. I was watching a video of this white dude. He's on some John Wick type stuff, right? Speaking of which, I will have a date for you tomorrow for the next CCW. Well, it's not even a CCW class. It'd be the first tactical class. So if you already have your CCW license and you want to go out on the range, then feel free. We love to have you. And you want to get some target practice in, you want to get some training in, or you want to learn how to be more proficient with your firearm from a variety of different positions, you can join up with us, and we'll be going out in November. I've got a tentative date, which is November the 17th, which is a Sunday, November 17th, which is about a month from now. A little less than a month, maybe about 27 days or so from today. So just tentatively put that on your calendar. And we won't be out there for 8 hours. We'll only be out there for a few hours. It'll be shorter. So I'll give you the time frame, location, and cost if you'd like to join us. Again, for me, having gone through the CCW, and I can see my license right here, valuable information. I can still remember a lot of, now that I've stepped away from it a little bit, I can still remember a lot of the basics they taught me, safety. Some of those videos they show you, man, are just, wow. Woo, people doing some not so smart things. Learning about the different types of misfires that can happen with a weapon. Very, very valuable information. And I was talking with PG Sittenfeld, who's a member of City Council. Matter of fact, it's up on the Hot Mic podcast right now. And he's one of these guys that's he starts talking about some kind of statistics or some old shit. I don't know what he was talking about how having a gun in the house is bad for you. I'm looking at him like he ain't lost his mind. I'm like, yo, bro, listen, nah, You in the house, you got a new son, you in there with your wife. You hear something going on, what you gonna do? You gonna sit there in fear, hope and pray? Yeah, okay. But I want to do that knowing that if somebody walk in there, that I'm prepared to at least attempt to defend my family. And guns don't go off by themselves unless there's some mechanical failure, which usually is coming from a human error. And there's a lot of really safe ways that you can have your weapon at home, get to it quickly, and still have it in a situation where if a young person comes across it, they can't even get to it, number one, because it should be locked up. And then number two, if they do get a chance to put their hands on it, you should have a trigger lock on it. And you can say, well, Nate, damn, why are you doing all that? By that time, the bad guy's in your house. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. We live in a crazy world. People will try to do something to you. People will try to do something to your family. And I don't want to sit around like some victim. No. Check out the Hot Mic Podcast. We go in detail. It's up right now. Send Digital Media on Facebook. Check it out for yourself. No gays on school boards. Well, that might be your thing. I don't care if somebody's gay or straight on the school board, quite honestly. We've got LGBTQ students, so they will be representatives of a part of the student population. That's the least of my concerns. I'm more concerned about the greater picture. More concerned about the greater picture. That's just me. Well, Nathan and Mike, if it's cool for your kids to call adults nigga or nigger, have at it. No, it's not. I just said that it's not. But what I'm saying is that kids are going to do stuff. And then you have kids that are dealing with home stuff and they take it to school. And it just all comes out. It is not uncommon to have young people, these are students, by the way, many of them are not even 18, having friction or having some contact with security guards or whoever else. And they, it might be, I won't call it a bad, but it might be a tense interaction. That's not uncommon. But the adults in the building, even the security guards, even the lunch lady, right? They all come in contact with those kids in the building. So what kind of training are they going to get? Are they being trained to deal with these situations? You're a security guard, not a teacher, not an administrator. Maybe there's a level of awareness that needs to be brought to this person. That's all I'm saying, Tracy, but I'll continue with your flow. She writes, I'll tell you what, though, if the guard was black and the high schooler was white, y'all be calling for the kid to be suspended, go through sensitivity training, etc. Wasn't like y'all weren't calling for the Coven Cav kids to be expelled. You remember the ones in blackface? For me, it would make no difference whether they had called him Nigger, maybe with some white kids. Although there are white kids that refer to each other as Nigga. So let's say it was a white kid. I feel the exact same way about it because it's not really about race. It's really about the standards of the adults in the building. Do I think that this security guard officer is a bad guy? No. But I think he got caught in his feelings and he stepped outside and started mimicking and verbalizing things that he shouldn't have been doing. I've seen it done that way. I've seen people, what I've said to you, I have seen. I have seen people, young people all caught up. About to fight. You get two young men about to fight. What happens, they start squaring up and the N-word starts coming out. What you gonna do, NY? Man, F you, NY. It starts coming out. I've seen, this was the administrator, step in. N-word going back and forth. It's a black guy. N-word going back and forth. I seen him correct him. De-escalated. Never used the N-word, but said N-word. That's all I'm saying. The security guard was wrong. He was wrong. You don't get paid to call these kids or to use the N-word with these kids. All he had to do was say N-word. It's so easy. Listen, son, I'm not your N-word. I know you might get away with that at home, but I don't want to be disrespected like that. Please don't call me the N-word. Boom. Everybody's Gucci. Everybody's Gucci. But no, he got caught in his feelings and he stepped outside of it. You know he's wrong. He know in his heart he was wrong. But he feels like they called me the N-word first. They're children. They're children. Ignore them. See it for what it is. This young man probably has some family issues. and it's manifesting in schools. See it for what it is. It ain't a personal attack on you, per se. It's a reflection of the environment they was brought up in. Nothing more. I do remember that. The coveting calf kids, the blackface, I do remember all of that. Today is the NAACP. TNT writes, today is the Cincinnati NAACP and Prince Hall Mason's Judicial Candidate Forum at the Community Action Agency, 1740 Langdon Farm Road, 6 p.m. It's going down. Oh, yeah, it's going down. It's going down. And I will be there. I want to see what's going to happen. It's my first time seeing these judicial candidates, so it'll be interesting. I know they've had a couple of forums here and there. Clue writes, security guards started arguing with fools. And a wise scholar from the shores of Shaolin told us not to do that because people from a distance couldn't tell who was who. Clue magic. Wise words, brother. Wise words. You're so right about it. And that's why he was wrong. I'm not arguing with no kids like that. I'm going to say, look, come on, y'all. I'm going to take them straight up to the principal's office and let them deal with it. Get them away. Number one, separate them, de-escalate it, get them somewhere, calm them down, talk to them about it. And then you try to school them like, look, bro, that's a bad look out there using the N-word. You do that at home? Your mother know that? Your father know that? What's your father's name? You know, it's like that. That's all you got to do. Sounds easy. It's much harder. But you don't use the same language that the kids are doing. Come on. Tracy writes, we'll have to agree to disagree. Absolutely. We can always do that. We can always agree to disagree. All right, 513-873-7134. Here we are at 10:05. Time is moving so damn fast these days. I will be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. I've got judicial candidates. After tonight, I'll have a better handle on exactly when and what time you can expect to hear these judicial candidates on the show as we get ready for this November election. And also got school board candidates lined up as well between now and the election. I want you to have a great Monday, all right? Have a powerful Monday. I want you to win today, all right? And that's it. Have an excellent Monday. Remember, winners focus on winning. Just focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. Have an excellent day, y'all. My name is Nathan Ivey. Today's show is brought to you by Sin Digital Media, a new urban voice in Cincinnati. Podcast for the people. Viva La Chapas, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.